You know, one of the things that you talked about reaching back and how everything is not reciprocated and what have you. One person who did reciprocate, or what I might say instigated in a positive way, DMX.
The dog.
And what he meant to you, obviously the Rough Rider label and all of that. 3-year anniversary of his death is today. Today. You've spoken glowingly about him throughout the years, what he's meant to you, what he's meant to the Locks and everybody in between. As you sit here today, his 3rd-year anniversary reflected on him, what kind of thoughts come through your mind?
I feel like he's not gone. X, I knew a different X than like the people. I knew him my whole life.
Right.
So I really knew him before he turned to the big iconic star, and he always kind of stayed like that. And far as being around, he would come after he made, and before he made it, you would see him, you see too much of him. But after he got right, you wouldn't see him that much. So it's almost like surreal that he's not here with us anymore, because he would only come by in brief stints and chill. Then you might see him 3 years later, or I would see him because he was label mates and he put me in the game and we did a lot of things. But as far as the people, you wouldn't see him like that. So we miss him daily and love him, but I still feel like he's like surreal. Like I still feel like he's gonna come pull over, speed up in one of his vehicles and hop out with, "What's up, dog? What we doing?" You know what I mean? So I like to just keep it like that, because when I start thinking about it, it gets really sad.
Yeah, I can understand that, but I got to ask you, when you saw folks celebrating him the way that they did after he passed away, were you surprised at all? I know how you felt about him.
No,
I know I catch the youngest, but I'm talking about the hip hop world all over.
To see that love that he got when he passed away was incredible. I haven't seen anything like that. Biggie, I was there for Big's funeral. Yeah. That was something that was like incredible to see, the love, abundance of love like that. Heavy D's funeral was amazing. There was another thing, and then X, it was just crazy. It was the people, the love, the eulogy from, Minister Farrakhan came on the screen. It was just incredible.
Why do you think that was compared to, we know what love Biggie received, we know what love, Heavy D, just like you just said, but what do you think was different about DMX compared to anybody else you've seen?
I think he touched the people different than any other artist that ever did music. You could go watch him on a show, he's gonna bark, jump around.
Right.
Then he's gonna say a prayer and cry at the end of the show, a heartfelt prayer that he wrote. So I don't think you don't get that. You can go to one of the best shows you ever been to. You're not gonna get them different type of elements and then end it with a prayer.
Did you see Jay-Z on The Shot with LeBron and the crew telling them that story?
Oh, when he had to perform after.
He came out, he said, "I got to perform out of It's a Hard Knock." Like, it was hilarious. It was a hilarious show. But it sounded just like DMX. He had it down pat, didn't he?
Yeah, Hov explained that perfectly. And that's how the dog was really like his stage presence, and what he did on that stage was incredible. I could have just only imagined having to go after him was nerve-wracking.
You've had an incredible career yourself. What kind of advice did DMX give you when he was alive? Best advice? I'm sure he's given you a lot of advice over the years. You were his homeboy, his brother, but what's the best advice he gave you?
Keep at it. We would call it Rough Rider Studio. They call it the pit, and we would just be, you have to go there every day, and some days you just be battling for hours. And I think steel sharpens skill, and that's what made us one of the toughest camps to deal with at the time, because, anything, a hooper stays in the gym.
Right.
Artists got to stay in the studio.
Right.
And don't let all the outside rhetoric get in you, block your vision. You got to have tunnel vision. somehow, no matter what's going on, you got to get to that studio every day. If, God willing, if you're able to, and everything will work itself out. All the other stuff will kind of weave itself out. But the main thing is go to the gym every day, go to the studio every day, and nobody will be able to touch you.
Is that what you do?
Definitely.
To this day, that's how you are.
Yeah. I try to make working out and going to the studio my lifestyle, not something, try to make that just implement it in my everyday, whatever I do.